just a quick update on the lawn. Like, things have been really nice recently. What I am kind of interested in is at this level, and this is on the front one. I think maybe you can see it from going straight down, but you have larger, more established pieces of grass here, and then underneath, if you look down here, you're starting to get some growth, little tiny shoots, and it's really starting to fill in. So it's kind of interesting that the density is increasing. But you can see that the lawn is pretty thick. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's better. And then if we go over here, see that my hosta's starting to come in. Planted both of these last year. It's a really low light area underneath the tree here, and both of these guys are coming in. I saw this one was coming up, but I wasn't sure whether or not it was actually going to come, and this one's looking great. Another slow pan. We're out along the street, and part of what happens along the street is that you get increased stress for the grass, basically because pavement radiates heat, and it heats and cools pretty slowly, so late in the day it's still pretty warm. So I end up with a lot of spots like this that are pretty bare, and I've done just about everything that I can do to grow some grass here. I do have some larger established bunches of grass that look pretty good, but still really struggling to fill in some of these spots here. You can see that we're working. So the whole thing doesn't look great, but you can see here, you can see some new growth that's coming in that is starting to fill in that area. I don't know whether or not that will survive the summer. This area right here along our, this is where the Charlotte water is. Didn't used to have very much for grass around it, but currently we've got a pretty good established growth around it. It's looking good around the mailbox. They came and they tore this. So when there was a water main break that happened here, okay, and they tore all this up. Now, when they actually tore all that up, what happened was they also tore up, this section right in here along the mailbox. So everything that you can see here now is about I want to say they did that in July, so really bad time to do things, but you can see right along here, especially, you can see great growth, great growth, great growth, great growth, not so good, not so good, not so good, not so good. And along that edge, you can see that that is specifically where they actually did the work. Now, if we go over here to the other side, you can see kind of a similar pattern with what's going on over here, because if we walk right up in here, you can see that that looks awesome. But if you come down here, you can see that this corner leaves a lot to be desired. Those shadows obviously are messing with that quite a bit, but if you look back down this behind me, it looks pretty nice right now. So let's go check out the backyard. So the backyard looks pretty good. There are a couple like trouble areas, especially on this side, and you can see we're opposite of where the grill is, but you can see that on this side there are a couple areas, ding, 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 right there, that are essentially bare. And one of the biggest ones that you can see is right behind me here. That's a spot where it gets a lot of traffic, gets a lot of water, stands there. And so what I did is I took that compost and I leveled that so that the water would not stand in that corner, and it would actually, as it's supposed to, because what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to come down along here, move across. There's a drain right there. It's supposed to run underneath that and then back across and out to the street. It doesn't do a very good job of that. What it does right now is it comes this way and it stops right there. So I'm hoping that the drainage improves over time. You can follow along and see if that actually happens. One thing that is pretty exciting for me is this. Our friend, Mr. Broadleaf, is having a hard time. And that's because we sprayed last week, and now it's actually curling up. Downside is that is exposing some areas in the lawn, which is probably positive in the long run, that don't have any coverage from any grass. So we're reducing the competition, and we are trying to make this a monoculture where we've just got one. Yeah, look at that guy. Got one thing growing out here. here. So we're going to reduce the competition, hopefully enhance the coverage here, and it's a work in progress, so looks pretty good. The bad thing with this drain is that the actual height of the edge of the drain is a little bit above the height of the lawn back over here, and so we have some drainage issues where, you know, that water comes down off this hill to here. It's supposed to run right down to this drain, and instead of doing that, it kind of pools right in here. So we got some other low spots that you can see in here. Yep. Pretty poor coverage because, again, we were trying to level that lawn to get that to drain properly. Over here on the other side, if we go across, here is the exit for the drain. If I can find it. There it is. Oh, look at that. So here's the exit for the drain. You can see down in there. And what that's supposed to do is that is then supposed to drain from there down the hill to the corner and run out, which it actually does now. So it's coming. We've also still got a few bare spots on the hill here. They're starting to fill in. You can see little shoots starting to fill in some of the more mature grass that was there, filling in some of the broadleaf that was in here is starting to die back. You can see that curling and the yellowing on the leaves. Again, that was sprayed with quinclorac in 2,4-D. You can see a great deal of yellowing right through here. Okay, last thing that I want to go through really quickly is just show you what my most recent project is, which is planting kitchen scraps. So I think we've all had an onion that has sprouted at some point, but I don't know if any of us have gone and then taken and planted said onion in our garden. So this is what we got going on here. That's a white onion. And that is about 2 weeks after planting just the kitchen scraps that I had. The other thing that we've got here are carrots. See my little carrot row here? These guys are all just tops of carrots that I cut off of the carrots that I'd already eaten. Same thing over here. Yeah, looks pretty good. These guys right here, that's arugula, which is delicious and super spicy. Those are good. Last thing I've got, more pepper scraps. Pepper, onion. Got a little section right here. Planted a couple different pieces of onion. They're starting to come up. So we're gonna end up with, I'd probably say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 onions that are gonna just come out of our garden. And those are all because of kitchen scraps. So anytime that I get any of those throughout the year, I'm not even gonna think about what time of year it is. I'm just gonna keep sinking them in my beds, letting them grow and harvest them when they come due. The one thing that is kind of nice with this process is that at the rate that I consume them is the rate that I plant them, which means that if they're within the growing year, and we have a really long growing season here in North Carolina, I should be able to consume them, meaning that they will become ripe in that process. So I won't just have 100 onions all at once and have a storage issue. What I'll have instead is I will have one onion come ripe, then another onion come ripe, then another onion come ripe, and we should have those throughout the year. Same thing with the carrots. I use one bunch of carrots, cut the tops, planted the tops, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to plant another row of carrots. So really what I've got is I should have, 10 carrots are going to come ripe about the same time, and then another 10, 2 to 3 weeks after that. And what I should have is an operating system in my garden. So pretty interested with that. The strawberries are doing really well. That's from one plant last year. Didn't really get anything out of that last year, but you can see right now, got some strawberries coming. Just want to make sure that I can figure out how to keep the birds off of this. Probably going to build myself a cage or a closure. I'm going to let it go unprotected first of all, and then when they've eaten all of my strawberries and I'm super angry, I'll probably make something, but right now we're just going to go with it and see what happens. Go from there.